Love that technology. You don't know when it's going to cut off, when it doesn't. It kind of affects why you would um, kind of rush into getting your bullet points across and trying to say what you can and say as quickly as you can. And plus, you got to understand the viewer is got an attention span of a 30 to second commercial break, 30 to 60 second commercial break. But I'm not going to be condescending in any way. But it's just so much to say. I got a lifetime of experience, a lifetime of anything to say, and while it's popped into my head, just let you know these videos are still upside down. I know what I'm doing. I think I just don't know how to master this technology, nor do I care to, nor does it impress me to learn it. And there's this guy on the YouTube, some jabroni, talking about, please YouTube, make stop doing this Google Plus stuff, stop doing this whatever. It really affects my viewership. That anybody can get out there and call themselves Hitler or Barack Obama and they do what you got, right? Well, I disagree with that. Change things, make something better. But you can't really do that, right? When you're always 9 to 5 worrying about if you're going to be able to make rent, pay those bills, and eat. I mean, the time you spend from here to there and back. I mean, a lot could happen. You got so much to worry about that as that goes. Not to mention, you got to worry about, oh, well, is everybody else going to criticize my behavior, what I'm doing, what I'm not doing? Am I measuring up to their standards? And if you don't, I mean, what happens then? Oh, what's all the worst case scenarios that I can think of? It's enough to drive you crazy. Well, you ain't got time to make videos like this. You ain't got time. You got time to do a little clicking, man. What can I say to express how I feel in the little amount of time I have? This is no different when you're trying to do the same thing like this, or talking to somebody in person. I mean, they only have a window of opportunity of time to care to hear what you have to say. If you're not saying anything of importance and sustenance to them, then they're probably going to start tuning you out. You might be tuning me out right now. You might not really care is what I'm saying, but I just want to get this out as far as talking personally about how much the Deadend, beating a dead horse, Doggy Daycare, work release programs, how much it sucks. And you got all these politicians that talk about we need more jobs. The problem is we don't have enough jobs. I mean, if you ever had a job, the job sucks. It sucks. You only have so much freedom to do anything in your life because of that damn job. Not only because of that job, but because what it takes to get to that point. Going back to youth development, you finally, from K to 12, you undergo all this nonsense, all of this heartache, and then you think that's where it's ended? No. It's time to continue to dress to impress. Make sure you have the intelligence, the aptitude to get out there and prove to others that, hey, you can hang and bang with the best of them. That's going to take a hell of a lot more work. You got to prove. You got to keep proving and proving and proving and proving, and improving upon what you have improved upon. There's no end. I mean, what you've done up to this point, it's great, but you got to continuously prove to the rich man, to the for-profit J.P. Morgan Chase monopoly, that you can measure up to their standards. That what makes you stand out amongst everybody else who's desperate enough to beg for our table scraps. Our table scraps come with a price. You're not just going to take any of our table scraps. You're going to work your damn ass to get those table scraps. I mean, that anxiety, are you going to choose me? I mean, do I have enough? Do I look the part? Am I obese? Am I fit and in shape? And am I doing what I can to measure up? Am I perfect? Am I what they're looking for? And most of the times you're not. At least that's your perception. And if you are, you're probably pretty ecstatic when you got that position. When you finally made the grade. When you finally reached the brass ring. And what happens? That's not it. You got to worry about every day measuring up to what their standards are of what the competition around you, your peers. Who's in the office that's gunning for your position. It's a very cutthroat environment. You don't like being around them. They're always trying to sabotage you. They're not trying to work with you because they want your position. They want to let others know that look how idiotic and retarded that you are, and look how perfect and debonair that I am. I mean, this guy's nothing. I mean, don't you need me as the new management position? I mean, it's a pyramid scheme, right? It's a dog world, dog. A bunch of bounty hunters, right? Homage to Mr. Dog and Beth and all that jabroni stuff. Anyways, it sucks. I mean, how fun is it? Oh, well, you got the naysayers out there. You just don't have the right place. You just got to work at the right company. You just got You just got to do something else. You just have to do. I myself, I don't have to do anything different. I'm giving you advice because I've made it. I'm there. I like doing what I do. For one, are you really lying to me and telling me what you think I need to hear to be impressed by you? Or are you trying to impress yourself? Are you trying to convince yourself? You think if you say it enough that you'll eventually believe it? You think maybe if you say it enough out loud and hear yourself speak, because most times anybody talks, that's all they want to do is hear themselves talk. Well, I'm supposed to take your advice. I can't be like you. Nor, we all have our individual identities, but I can't be just like I can't walk your path. You can't walk your path. You're walking somebody else's path. You're not following your dreams. You're following your fathers. You're following your predecessors. Everybody who laid the groundwork and the blueprint for you to follow. That's not your dream. All you're doing is trying to prove that you can fit in and catch up to everybody else. It's an uphill battle. You always have to prove that you can pay off your debts. Oh, I've got to prove. What do you always have to prove? You always have to prove something to somebody because you always got to earn your keep. You got to earn your membership. Pay your dues. So the constant paranoia, anxiety, neuroses, projection, pathology, it's paramount. It's universal and it ain't going to stop. And why? Because there's this illusion that there's only so much to go around. You need to make sure that if you really want your position, you really want a life for yourself and your family, if you want the life of a millionaire or let's say a thousandaire, just a middle class $50,000, $100,000 a year, that's perfect. That's all you need. What more can you ask for? Everybody else is doing. The 99% out there, we're completely content, complacent, and we're happy. Look at us, we don't need very much. So you shoot for those ceiling stars. And for what? Why can't you shoot for more? Oh, you hear the saying, especially during the 2008 economy crash and recession. Oh, well, you just need to be fortunate that you even have a job right now. Those who receive food stamps, they should be embarrassed. For me, I'm not embarrassed. I only have $20, $30, $40, $50,000 a year income after taxes. I'm still negative $10,000 netting. Well, that's fine. I don't have to worry about others judging me and seeing me pull out the debit or the EBT card and paying for my groceries that way. I want to avoid that embarrassment and humiliation. And who really cares to judge you and call you a name and say, oh, you're not measuring up and you're slacking? Who really cares? Probably about 5% of the U.S., probably 5% of the world, they really give a shit. But only you believe everybody's out to look at you and judge you. And you're making sure you take care of yourself from judgment. You're making sure you don't do anything that makes you stand out. You want to blend in. Camouflage is key. So what do? You settle, right? Oh, it's great. And what do? You tell your kids. You tell them to settle. You don't tell them to get out there and say, you know what, with the economy the way it is, and with all the indoctrination and public relations, manipulation in commercials and on television and all these things, avoid that. Make sure you try to find a way to find more out of life than just settling for what daddy and mommy and neighbors and principal and your childhood friend parents have. And like these policemen and all these doctors, and don't settle for what they have. Don't settle for anything. Always question, be critical. Have critical thinking. No, you can't have critical thinking. That would cause me to have to worry about babysitting you more during the day and have to spend more quality time with my child. I don't want to do that. I come from work and I want to rest my feet, been on my feet all day, and I want to be bothered because I look at my life and say, God, is this what it's amount to? This is ridiculous. And all the naysayers out there, you just don't have the right job. You just need to do something different. I ask the question, what can others do for me that I can't do for myself? Well, you're talking socialism now. You're talking about sharing. Sharing is not caring. Not sharing is not caring, or not sharing is caring. It's just like the food stamp cuts, right? You got to give these people the incentive to want to get out and work. If they're just lazy. If we didn't talk about them, and we talked about the rich and wealthy, about them having all this exorbitant amount of wealth and cushions, you tell me they can't spend more on taxes? They're not being forced to, but maybe they should. Maybe they'd like to. Maybe you say, hey, appeal to them, say, hey, you get to pay more taxes. You get to spend more on. No, let's continue to take from the poor. But the poor don't have the access to actually get out there and make more money as much as they love to. They can't. It's just a lot of things are out of their control. Oh well, let's keep ourselves in this paradigm and believe that the poor man keeps himself down. It's not the rich. It's the poor. Oh yeah, you're part of the poor, and you actually promote the rich, and the rich ain't promoting you. You're out there trying to prove to the rich that you measure up to them and you're on their side. Of course, you're going to think that your behavior of casting doubt about the poor and blaming the poor, making them the skate sheep, that they'll look at you and say, yeah, you agree with us. I mean, come on, like-minded folks, we got to stay alive. Misery loves company, but so does happiness. Let's all sing Kumbaya and hold each other and whack each other off and look at each other and lie to each other at the same time. I mean, it's better to be that way than to be poor, down and out, right? Well, what's better than being a psychopath? What's better than being a yes man, a lapdog, and an obedient sheep? What's better than that? Well, of course, your employer is in a better position than you. Of course, the rich, the famous, the 1%, the plutocrats, the aristocrats, you name them, that's better. But what's not even to that point, that's a pinnacle, right? But what's better than what you're doing right now? Let's say you make $50,000 a year. What's better than that? 55,000? 105,000? 500,000? No, you don't want to compare yourself to them, because you start exposing how insecure you really are and how much you don't really maximize your potential. You settle for that because why? You're pretty much basically afraid. What happens if I don't? What happens if I can't? I can't fail if I don't try. Well, that's great. I'm a success story. Yeah, if you set your bar very low and you reach that bar, sure you succeeded. Sure you made it. And sure other people who are below you believe the hype. Well, that's what the rich want you to believe, is that obedience